Alright, so we're going right where we left off, and right now, I'm just really pleased with myself. I think this looks so nice. Alright, right now I'm gonna really focus on just cleaning the left side of this up, because it's really bothering me now. So I'm just gonna go back to layer 2 over here, quickly duplicate the layer, and I'm gonna get out my smudge tool. You probably won't have to do this, but I'll teach you anyway. Put it to normal, and then go to I'm using Photoshop Cs2 just because it's small, and I can't be bothered to download CS4 or CS3, but yeah, CS2 works anyway. So I'm going to go to toggle the brush settings over here, click on that, and then have scattering enabled. You can do it to 500. I actually want the scattering to not be that much, but alright. So we basically have scattering enabled right here, scattering enabled, and then just close it up by clicking anywhere. And it can be any brush. I recommend using the X brush, but I don't, whatever. Okay. I'm basically just gonna ease it in. Maybe I should set it to darken so I can. I'm pretty much happy. And make sure that this layer that you smudged it around, the layer that you smudged, is not on top of your real render. And make sure you duplicate that first. As you can see, I think it blends in much better. Let's go to normal size now. Actual pixels, and then just make this a little smaller. I think it definitely blends in much better. Definitely. Alright, so now that that's done, let's work on making this blend in more. I'm just going to temporarily take off these gradient maps just because I'm going to add in one more C4D or two in just to make it blend in more on the left side because I haven't really focused on that side yet. So I'm just going to do the same thing. Find a place that flows and erase around. I'm just going to focus on that side, so I'm going to erase all around. Okay. So right there. I'm going to try hard light this time. Or maybe soft. I'm liking soft light. There we go. You really have to find a good spot in your C4D. I think right there is fine. Remember to erase all around. I'm just going to decrease the opacity so it can flow in a little more. Alright, I think that's nice. I don't really care about that. I'll erase that anyway. Okay. Let's just see how this looks. Let's see what else I can do. I think this definitely needs more flow on the right side. So I'm going to try opening up another C4D. This is one of my favorite C4Ds. Yes, I do actually have a favorite C4D, sadly. And I think this is a pretty popular C4D. And I just love this C4D. It just looks really nice. I've made a lot of SIGs in the past using this C4D. So I'm just going to drag the C4D in. As you can see, it already has the gradient map filters. I'm just going to temporarily turn those off. Maybe really turn it to the side to add some nice flow. Show transform tools. And basically just tilt it to the side. Yeah, it's that easy. Alright. Then we're going to drag it in. Drag it in. Maybe I can make it a little smaller. Image size. I can make it at 700-ish. Yeah, that works. Let's put it right there. Put the opacity up, make sure it doesn't go on top of the focal point, and just erase around. Make sure that this C4D doesn't really cover all of the other C4Ds that you've already used, because that can really ruin the SIG, and I don't really know about this one. So I'm going to undo some of the stuff that I made, and I'm probably going to play around with the layer effects some more. Some soft light. Or hard light. Too much. I'll try some good old luminosity there. Yeah. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay. It's all about good C4D placements and just deleting around, using the eraser tool wisely. I think the C4D really adds into the flow. Alright, I think we're pretty much done with the C4Ds. I really don't want to overdo it. If you overdo it, the results aren't really that good. So right now, we have a really nice SIG in front of us, but we're not done. We are not done. I'm just going to quickly save this. I recommend you save every single SIG before you flatten it out and do some finishing touches. I'm just going to save this as Wolf SIG. And there we go. Make sure to maximize. Alright. So right now, I'm just going to flatten this image because I really don't know what else I could do to this. It already looks really pleasing. I'm going to flatten it like that. Make sure to double click the background layer because it's locked. And just convert it to layer 0, layer 1, whatever. I really don't care. So now the background layer isn't locked, so you can do your work in it. Alright, I'm just going to minimize the C4D. It's in the way. Okay. And what we're quickly going to do is duplicate the layer. And what I'm really going for here is to bring out the focal point, which is the wolf, more, because that's the focal point. And how I'm going to do that is go to blur, radial blur, and then make sure the blur method is zoom. Zoom in about 84 to 100. I like going to 60 just so it won't, 60 or 50, and make sure the quality's best. And you can just drag it right here, drag it around, you know. I'm going to drag it to the bottom left because that's where my focal is, the wolf. And right there, perfect, perfect. And make sure this is on a new layer, and make sure the new layer is on top. And right now I'm just going to set this to lighten. Or darken also brings a nice effect, which you can keep in mind. You can do a lot of stuff with the radial blur effect. I love it. I'm just going to keep it on 100 and maybe make the opacity 15. I like the effect. I can't really use it on this SIG though, so I just merged the layers. I forgot to tell you. I've held down Control while one layer is selected, and I click on the other layer, and then while holding down Control, press E. Or you can just flatten the image manually right here, but it's really a pain. And that wraps it up. Make sure to watch part 2 because I'm going to continue without delay. Watch part 2. Well, not part 2, the next part to this. Alright, thanks guys.